Every 4 years, the entire planet stops for the same game. Billions of people, every continent, watching one ball. It is the most watched event in human history. No election, no concert, nothing else even comes close. And in 2026, all that attention turns into money. Hosted across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, this World Cup will earn FIFA almost $9 billion in a single month. That is more than 10 times the 1994 World Cup, the richest event in sports history. But here is what almost nobody watching will realize. The cities hosting these games will mostly lose money. FIFA keeps the billions. The host cities, from New York to Mexico City, Dallas to Toronto, get the bill. Some are paying over $250 million each. So when the World Cup comes to town, who actually gets rich? Let's follow the money. So how does 1 month of football make $9 billion? It comes from 3 places. The first, and biggest, television. Broadcasters around the world pay roughly $4 billion just for the rights to show the games. The second, sponsors. Global brands pay nearly $3 billion to put their logos on the world's biggest stage. And the third, tickets and hospitality, worth up to $3 billion more. But why would anyone pay that much? Because we show up. Billions of us tune in to watch the stars. Lionel Messi, the reigning champion. Kylian Mbappe, chasing the all-time scoring record. 48 nations, and the whole planet watching at once. That attention is the product, and FIFA sells it. And 2026 is built to be the biggest payday ever. For the first time, 48 teams, not 32. 104 matches, not 64. 16 host cities across 3 countries. More games, more tickets, more ads, and more money than any World Cup in history. The final is at MetLife Stadium, just outside New York. Mexico City's iconic Estadio Azteca becomes the first stadium ever to host 3 different World Cups. The biggest, AT&T Stadium in Dallas, seats 94,000. And Toronto and Vancouver host their first ever World Cup matches. 16 cities lit up across a continent. But none of that $9 billion goes to the cities. In fact, they pay to take part. Every host city is on the hook for security, transport, and fan festivals. In the United States, that is $100 to $250 million each. In Canada, it is worse. Toronto's bill ballooned to around $380 million. Vancouver's to over $500 million. Reporters have called it the worst deal in World Cup history. The contracts are so one-sided that some cities cannot even sign deals with their own local sponsors, if those businesses compete with FIFA's official partners. As one report this month put it, for the host cities, the whole thing is basically a wash. Now, defenders point to a much bigger number. One widely cited, FIFA-backed study says the 2026 World Cup could pump $40.9 billion into the economy and create hundreds of thousands of jobs. It sounds like a jackpot. But economists who study these events have a warning. Most of that is displaced spending. A fan who flies in for a match but skips their usual holiday has not added new money. They have just moved it around. Strip that out, and economists put the actual boost to the U.S. economy at around $17 billion. That is less than 0.1% of its size. Tournament after tournament, the promised windfall barely moves the needle. So is hosting always a mistake? Not quite, but there is a trap. To host, some past World Cups built glittering new stadiums in cities that didn't need them. After 2014, Brazil was left with billion-dollar arenas. One deep in the Amazon, with no major local team. That became famous white elephants. Empty, and costing a fortune just to maintain. 2026 is smarter. It mostly reuses stadiums that already exist. MetLife was built for American football. The Azteca has stood for decades. Almost no new stadiums. And by spreading the games across 16 cities and 3 countries, the risk is shared, instead of crushing one host. It is the one genuinely clever part of the deal. So step back, and the pattern is clear. The romance is real. The global stage is real. But the money mostly flows one way. Tournament after tournament, the clearest winner is not a country or a team. It is football's governing body. FIFA. The cities get the memories. FIFA gets the money. There is one last detail that says it all. When Lionel Messi lifted the trophy in 2022, he did not get to keep it. The champions never do. They are handed a replica, while FIFA keeps the solid gold original. Because in the end, that is the World Cup. The world gets the game. FIFA keeps the gold. If that changed how you see the beautiful game, like, share, and subscribe to Playnomics.